Hello guys, in this video we are reading. What is something you did while blackout drunk that you still to this day cannot believe you did? Consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. Apparently I drank a red Gatorade from the fridge and later threw up in the bathtub and my roommates thought I was throwing up blood. Of course no one called 911 lol, instead they decided to wait till the morning and ask bro, was that blood? For some reason, my friend wanted to show that he could do a lot of squats. We both pulled our pants down next to his fire pit. I dunno, and did a lot of squats. I didn't remember this, so I woke up terrified by how sore I was from bowling before the drinking started. I honestly spent all week having a crisis about this. Is it? I'm getting old and my body can't handle physical activity. Then my friend told me his girlfriend kept teasing him about us doing squats with our pants around our ankles, and I freaked out like frick yes, I'm not getting old yet. I can still do things. I once shit on a cop car. There was dashcam footage released looking for any info on who it might be and I recognized my hat and sweatshirt. Threw up on a band in Nashville during a live show. Girlfriend at the time needed to find an ATM, so I drunkenly followed her. When she found one, I sat on the concrete against a metal railing. I knew I was going to be sick, so I stuck my head through the railing and vomited my heart out. What I didn't realize was that it was actually about a 15-foot drop between me and the concrete, where a band was playing, with an entire audience watching. Punched my friend right in the face. Apparently I said I would. Then he said you won't, so I did. I still can't believe it. One of the guys in my group of friends was dating a girl. They had been together a while, and the rest of us went crazy about her. Maybe because we were all young, early 20s. And he was the first one of us with a serious relationship, and so we didn't see him as often. I got ridiculously drunk at a party, and ended up declaring my love for some girl I had just met, then passing out in the bathroom on the floor with the dogs. I was found at some point, and people were amused at my expense. My friend's girlfriend, rather than mocking me, helped me out. She took me upstairs, gave me some water, and put me to bed. Before passing out again I said something along the lines of "You're really awesome. I don't know why everyone says you're a bitch." We didn't see our friend much for a while. Eventually things smoothed over. They got married and I was invited, so no permanent damage done. Still, I couldn't believe I said something so stupid. I've also never gotten a bit drunk again. I got on a stranger's parked motorcycle and pretended like I was riding it. Then the owner came up and asked me if I wanted to go for a ride. So we went for a ride around the city. It was fun, but could have ended very differently. Told my then girlfriend, now wife, at her own birthday party at volume in front of a few other friends that we were leaving, because I wanna frick. This is way out of character. I'm a real introvert and quiet. Then when she got me home I threw up all over our bed. Woke up in bed with a towel under me and a blanket on top with no idea what had happened, but I knew it must be bad. Weirdly she forgave me really quickly. I was 18 and living with some friends on a farmhouse in the country. As one of the few people in my social group living alone, we tended to throw some solid parties. I woke up one Sunday morning and my shoulders, back, and hands were killing me. I had a few serious blisters on my hands and had no clue where they had come from. I went downstairs, and there had to be 15 or so people passed out all over the living room, dining room, and kitchen. I woke up a friend of mine and asked him why everyone was still here. He groggily tells me that I wouldn't let anyone drive home drunk. So I had chopped down a tree, and it had fallen across the long driveway to the road. I walked about 50 yards down the driveway, and sure enough, I had chopped down a tree somewhere around 1 or 2 a.m., and it fell straight across the drive, blocking anyone from going home. I had to walk a few miles down the road to our nearest neighbor and ask him very nicely if he would be willing to bring his tractor over to our place and pull a tree out of the driveway. An hour and a half later, my friends all left in a conga line of cars 10 deep. Without being told to do so, I decided to climb down the ladder onto a frozen canal in Netherlands. Jumped up and down until the ice broke, then sprinted a mile to get to my friend's apartment while drenched. In total, I've blacked out maybe 4 times since college. I did a lot of shameful things, but the one that stands out the most is when I kissed my gay best friend. To this day, some 7-8 years later, neither one of us have spoken about it, and I like to keep it that way. I take no responsibility for this incident. The victims of my blackout caused my blackout. I don't mean they pressured me into drinking, I mean tackled me, put a funnel in my mouth, and poured straight vodka down my throat like a goddamn after-school special. So I was obviously done for the night. After that little incident, I went and fell on the couch. Fast forward a couple hours and party is over and everyone is in bed. And I got a pee, but I'm still drunker than I've ever been. I stumbled into the bathroom and took a piss. Even had the presence of mind to put the toilet seat up and then back down when I was finished. I stumbled back out to the living room and found the unoccupied recliner and passed out there till morning. In the morning I limped to the kitchen for some coffee. One buddy is there smiling and gives me the "how you feeling today" routine and then tells me the story of my trip to the bathroom. Apparently, I woke up and walked into the coffee table hard enough to knock the TV remote into my sleeping buddy on the floor and woke him up. He said I stumbled around the room for a minute cursing, finally stopping at the love seat. I dropped my pants around my ankles, lifted the couch cushion and pissed into the couch. After I finished my piss, I put the cushion back down, then slapped the back of the couch like you were trying to find the handle. I pulled my pants back up and stumbled around the room again, this time tripping over my now baffled friend. Cursed again, got up and passed out in the nearby recliner. The homeowner said he would have been more angry if he hadn't been the one holding the funnel, and that my bathroom etiquette was very considerate considering I pissed in his sofa. It was not on purpose. Once at a bar I knocked a beer bottle over. It hit the floor and only the bottom came out, a perfect circle spinning like a coin. The rest of the bottle was intact, so on the bottom. I then called my mate and told him watch this, and tried to repeat the featuring. I threw a second bottle on the floor and obliterated it, and we both got kicked out. Blacked out at a college bar, phone was dead. Friends had left me behind. Got kicked out of the bar for being too drunk. I truly don't know the specifics of what happened, but I am pretty sure I asked random people to give me a ride home and everyone denied me. Fell on the floor a plethora of times. My drunk brain must have been really desperate, because I got into a taxi that wasn't on duty and the guy took me back to the main campus of the college I was at. I was visiting a friend so I didn't know here his dorm was. I am also still blacked out. I broke into a random dorm. Thank God it was sweet of guys, and slept on their couch. Woke up to 4 or 5 dudes surrounding me asking me who the frick I was. I asked them where. Insert friend's dorm hall was, and they pointed me in the right direction and I reunited with my buddies who basically thought I died. I still remember walking into my friend's dorm with just a look of exhaustion and saying something like "you will not believe what happened" before I slept for like 3 more hours. Trashed a hotel room in New Mexico, broke the tank on the back of the toilet, flooding the bathroom, and somehow pulled a lamp out of the wall, shocking myself. I was convinced someone had broken into my room and tried to kill me. I get the frick out the next day, really embarrassed about what had happened. Paid circa $500 in damages, so they did not press charges. Single-handedly crashing a completely random wedding in a foreign country while my grandparents watched. I just strolled onto their dance floor and ended up dancing with the bride for a while. I had a few drinks and went to bed. Woke up the next morning and the wife was making me a huge breakfast and telling me how brave I was to capture and take a rattlesnake from our living room and release it in the wash behind our house. Yeah, I have a jigsaw puzzle memory of that. Tried to fight my friend who was twice my size, muscularly, because I thought he stole $50 from me. Turns out it was the big-tittied waitress that I gave my money to, so she would smash my head between her titties. Know me, but my friend, let's call him Dave. Dave used to bring a blanket and a bottle of whiskey canoe camping for 2 nights. For food he usually brought a bag of bagels. He would just sleep next to the fire with the blanket and had as much fun as anyone else that brought a ton of shit. Second night he wanders off and we hear a splash in the water. He's blackout drunk at this point. He swims to the other side of the river, climbs a tree, and sits in it for about a half hour. Finally climbs down, swims back across, and goes to bed. To this day he doesn't believe that he did it. We were all too drunk to know what to do, so we just watched the whole thing. I really wish I could have been in his head to know what he thought he was doing at the time, and why. I have to assume that he was spinning some fantastic tale in his drunken mind that caused him to do that. I was very surprised one day to receive an email from Drunk Me reminding me to do something important. I had, and still have, absolutely no memory of sending it, but apparently Drunk Me had the presence of mind to know how drunk he was, so he created an email to send to sober me 2 weeks later. Drunk Me was very smart to plan ahead this way and sober me appreciated it. Well, I got blackout drunk a grand total of 1 time in my entire life, and I projectile vomited all over the bathroom, in a roommate shared apartment, coating literally every inch of it in my stuff. That's totally believable and par for the course for being drunk. Or so I'm told. What I can't believe is that I had the presence of mind, the coordination and the willpower to dig out cleaning products from the vomit, soaked bathroom and clean the entire flipping thing from top to bottom to the point where not only did nobody know I threw up in there, but in the morning my roommates were astounded that the bathroom was freshly sparkling clean after we'd all gotten blackout drunk the previous night. Woke my husband up by eating his ass. A few hours before he had to work an overnight, he forgave me and lovingly refers to it as the tequila story when telling it to all of our friends. Broke into a complete stranger's house, turned on late night infomercials, and fell asleep on his couch. When owner woke me up, I told him it's okay. Scott said I could stay here. Scott was a friend in Chicago. I honestly thought that in my drunken stupor I had hopped a freight train and made it to Chicago and found his place. Meanwhile my buddy was walking all over town looking for me. I came bounding out the front door of the stranger's house to hear said buddy yell hey. He was squatting against stranger's house dropping a load in the side yard. Somehow we managed to walk back to his place and fall asleep while watching Super Troopers in the wee early hours of the morning. I am female. My wife caught me peeing in the cat's litter box. She tried to get me to stop and I yelled at her like she was being ridiculous. Please subscribe if you like the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Adios.